Hi there, I'm Michelle Ruiz, and I want to share some thoughts with you about the recent Supreme Court decision, officially known as Students for Fair Admissions, Inc. versus Harvard and University of North Carolina. In particular, how company leaders should interpret this decision because it has caused some confusion. So what I want to share with you is that the Supreme Court's decision related to academic admission practices as it pertains to affirmative action was a very narrowly focused decision. And it was really specifically applicable to universities that receive public funds. So, of course, this has raised concern by some in corporations and obviously companies, not just corporations, but mid-sized companies as well, as to whether or not this is going to have some kind of impact or effect on how organizations pursue their DEI initiatives. So I just want to share with you some very important recent communications related to that. So in essence, the headline would be, no, you can still move forward with your diversity, equity, and inclusion objectives, considering that, and this is a statement by the chair of the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, known as the EEOC, and the official statement is that the decision does not address employer efforts to foster diverse and inclusive workforces or to engage the talents of all qualified workers, regardless of their background. It does remain lawful for employers to implement diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility programs that seek to ensure workers of all backgrounds are afforded equal opportunity in the workplace. Now, in addition to that, you may have heard in the news regarding letters that went out to corporations signed by attorney generals of some Republican states, and consequently, as a result of that letter going out, which basically was implying that corporations and companies should really step back and look at their diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies because they could be liable for reverse discrimination and the like. In response to that communication from the attorney generals of some of those Republican states, there was a group of attorney generals from Democratic states, of course, because this has become a political issue, who responded with this. And that letter says, there has been an effort by attorney generals from 13 Republican states to intimidate corporations and instill fear that they should stop their DEI efforts with false claims that those efforts will be illegal. They went on to say that the letter you received is intended to intimidate you into rolling back the progress many of you have made in your companies. We write to reassure you that corporate efforts to recruit diverse workforces and create inclusive work environments are legal, and listen to this, and reduce corporate risk for claims of discrimination. In fact, businesses should double down on diversity-focused programs because there is still much more work to be done. It goes on to say, the letter's attempts to equate these permissible diversity efforts with impermissible hiring quotas is a clear effort to block opportunities for women and people of color, especially Black people. So that was the Democratic attorney generals responding to this letter that went out by attorney generals from Republican states. So there's a lot of, confusion, obviously, based on this recent Supreme Court decision that has caused a lot of concern, consternation, and frankly, distress for many individuals. And some job candidates may incorrectly assume that the Supreme Court's decision as it pertains to higher academic institutions means that employers can no longer have workplace DEI initiatives, and that is incorrect. Now, having said that, also, as a reminder, employers have always been legally prohibited from making hiring and work-related decisions based solely on race. That has been illegal even before the Supreme Court decision. So DEI and HR professionals can continue to work to diversify candidate pools while also continue to hire, develop, and promote the best candidate or employee for each position without regard to race. So we here are publishing a white paper and a toolkit to help guide company leaders on how to navigate this environment and how to consider your DEI efforts and what to know as you move forward, given this uncertainty that some companies and company leaders are experiencing. We're going to be providing that in the very near future, so stay tuned for that guidance that we'll be providing.